Let's talk about A Bug's Life.
I judge movies on 5 things: plot, character development, soundtrack, visuals, and miscellaneous. If you want to know the specifics of those categories, click on the video that's in like the top right of the screen or something. I don't know what they're called. I think cards, but that sounds stupid. So now that we know how I'm judging a movie, we need to find out how A Bug's Life fits into this scale. Right off the bat, starting strong, plot, 7 out of 10. Good stuff. Character development, the weakest element of the movie. 4 out of 10. Visuals are a solid 5 out of 10. Soundtrack gets a 6. And then finally, miscellaneous gets a 5 out of 10. Let's get to the breakdown. There's 2 elements to plot: the story and the characters. The characters in the plot is not supposed to be confused with character development, which is how the characters change throughout the story. Characters are just the personality. Now, in both of those aspects, A Bug's Life does pretty dang well. All of the characters are pretty interesting. Flick has a generally fun personality. Hopper is genuinely a good leader and completely and utterly terrifying. Dot is just adorable. The entire circus party is just very entertaining. Crazy, I know. A circus? Entertaining? Oh my goodness. And then there's Princess Ada, who is the most annoying character in this movie, and also has the worst name to pronounce. You have no clue how many takes that took. Princess Ada. Princess Atta. And then there's Princess Ada. Princess Atta. Oh my goodness. You got P.T. Free, the true villain of A Bug's Life. But all of these characters combined create a really cool atmosphere for this movie. They're all very likable. They get along together. It works. It works fine, and it's nice. It's pleasant to watch. And now for the story itself, it's really just straightforward, but at the same time, it's very well done. The reason it's well done is that all of the events in the story make sense. And best of all, every character has equal importance, unlike Toy Story 1. I said it. Although Flick is the main character of the movie, everybody contributes. Princess Ada sends him on his mission. Flick comes up with the mission. Hopper's trying to kill them. Dot is trying to make Flick happy. Everyone has importance, and it makes for a really good story. Hence, 7 out of 10. In terms of character development, there is one moment where it's amazing. In the beginning of the movie, it's established that Dot wants to be able to fly, but she finds herself as a failure. And who's the one to encourage her? Flick. That event causes the main character, Flick, to be more likable. Good stuff. In that moment, Dot feels like a failure, but she's encouraged by Flick. But later on in the movie, what do you know? Flick feels like a failure. He's trying to save his entire ant colony and fails miserably, like a total loser, like a dumb idiot loser, like a baby idiot. But in Flick's moment of failure, the roles swap between him and Dot. This time, Flick is the one who failed, and Dot is the one encouraging. This is a great way to do callbacks because, as I said before, callbacks create character development. And this is a perfect example of it. But it's also the only example of it. This is about the only notable scene for character development that there is in A Bug's Life. Now, yes, there's cool moments where characters do cool things, as with most movies where cool characters do cool, you know what I mean. But every other part of this movie that relates to the characters is just them existing and making decisions based on the plot. That's not development, that's just plot continuation. So doing this really made it special, but not enough to make it impressive. It was good, and that's about it. Alright, visuals. Let's put it simply. It's better than Toy Story 1. Oh my goodness. Now this movie impresses me a lot more than Toy Story 1 because there's not a single scene where I wanted to throw my face into the garbage. Albeit, there's a background here and there that's kind of rough to see, but otherwise, it's not that bad. This is mainly because Bug's Life didn't have any humans, whereas Toy Story did, so it was harder to do Toy Story 1, especially for a first animated film, as opposed to doing a bunch of ants that don't really look like ants in the first place, but we all pretend that they do because we're all being deceived by the corporate foundations that Pixar is. Anyway, back to the video. Now let's just remember, this movie came out in 1998. So of course the visuals aren't going to be crazy. It does not get points for being old. Yes, it is an improvement from Toy Story 1, but I still stand by my point from the Toy Story 1 review. Toy Story 2 graphics are much better. And it's even worse for Bug's Life because Toy Story 2 came out the next year, so it's even closer. But for visuals, they're just okay. Like Toy Story 1, not that good, but they are impressive. But this time they're a little bit better. Oh my goodness, the soundtrack of this movie is so good. It doesn't make sense though, like at all. In terms of soundtrack, Movies nowadays have gotten really good. Composers start to understand what they can and can't do for animation, so it makes sense that it would get better. But for a movie that's this old, they kind of stick with the traditional norms. As I said about Toy Story 1, older movies tend to deal a lot with themes in their music. Look at Star Wars. You can probably hum a song from Star Wars right now. Not as common, but Back to the Future, you probably know a song from there or two. There's superhero themes, Indiana Jones themes. Just about any old movie has themes. And these can also be labeled as riffs. But what current Pixar is doing in movies like Soul, Up, or Inside Out, you don't see crap like that in A Bug's Life. The only similar thing you see is that there's repeating riffs. Except here's the problem. They don't mean anything. The movie has an opening riff that is heard again and again throughout the movie, but it has no importance. The same few notes from the opening scene of the movie play over and over again to give you a sense of familiarity with the rest of the story, but it doesn't really make it good. Being said, holy crap, it sounds good. This is one of the most unnecessary soundtracks ever created. You got the absolute bop that Randy Newman creates once again, Time of Your Life. You just want to get down and boogie. And like I Will Go Sailing No More or You Got a Friend in Me, it just retells the story of the movie. It's nothing crazy, but it sounds awesome. And another musical highlight of this movie is Flick's introduction. It makes zero sense, but it is a really upbeat jazz arrangement that sounds awesome. And also, it's in a Family Guy commercial. I'm not sure why.
So join the family.
Mama has candy kisses.
If you want to give it a listen, it's in the description. Holy crap, that rhymed. But it's a genuinely good song. But it makes no sense being in this movie. The themes established in that song are not explored anywhere else in the movie, which is kind of funny, but it doesn't make for a good movie. I should mention that the purpose of it being upbeat jazz and kind of out of place is showing that Flick makes him out of place, but it doesn't really make sense because it doesn't make sense with the rest of the soundtrack, and they don't explore the theme again, therefore they're just calling him quirky at the beginning. You know what I mean. In terms of creativity and humor, this movie's okay. Yes, it's super creative. It has an amazing city that's made out of trash. It has fireworks that explode by hitting each other and exploding into a thing of pollen, I think. I think that's what that is. It's really sparkly pollen, but yeah. I mean, the entire circus is fun to watch. You got different types of bugs doing different type of stunts. Like, oh my goodness, the amount of times they make fun of the stick bug for being a stick, it's excessive, but because it's excessive, it's kind of funny as a payoff. I don't know how to explain it. It's a likable character. And then not to mention, in terms of creativity, the scale of the movie is really fun to observe. I mean, when you think about the city, it's just under somebody's camper. When you think about the entire ant colony, it's just an anthill. Like, that's an anthill right there. It was an anthill. I just canceled Bug's Life 2. Take that. In terms of humor, there's really good jokes everywhere. I'm sure there's some adult humor that I missed, but there's always stuff like that. Seeing random characters like the flies just be total pieces of garbage is really entertaining. Like, I could watch an entire movie about the flies just being jerks. The humor in this movie is so good. The creativity is so good, but it's not, like, astonishing. It's no Toy Story 1. And I know I just sat here for like 10 minutes just laughing at it, but it's not that funny. Oh crap, that's awkward. Hello, and welcome to this part of the video. If you skipped the middle parts to see what I had to say in the end, well, good job, but you're ruining my life, so just go back and watch the breakdown, please, and maybe subscribe while you're at it. Oh, that was smooth. That was smooth. Here's the individual scores, and here's the overall score. It's a simple and enjoyable movie. The characters are interesting, the humor's good, the creativity is there. It's all a functional movie, it's just not super thought-provoking, which I think a movie should be, but that's fine. It was okay. Oh, thank you. Sorry, that's my bad. I'll take that out of there. Sorry. Anyway, with that, I give this movie that. It's a thumbs up. Yep.